Good afternoon and welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. We are here for our regularly scheduled business meeting to go over agenda items today. If you will, let's take a roll call of commissioners to begin with. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioner C. Williams, Commissioner Caston, Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner J. Williams, Commissioner Powers, Commissioner Belser. Joining us virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin. Please join me for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. We'll recognize our General Counsel, Ms. Hill.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon, Commissioners. The first order of business is to set the next Commission business meeting, and staff recommends that the next regularly scheduled meeting be held on Thursday, July 14th at 2 p.m.
Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be set for Thursday, July 14th at 2 p.m.
Okay. Madam Chair, for today's meeting, there are 13 items on the utilities agenda and 22 items on the motor carrier agenda. The first item on the utilities agenda is in docket number 2022-202C. This is a request for approval of the negotiated ILEC to ILEC interconnection agreement between Bell South Telecommunications, LLC, doing business as AT&T South Carolina, and Frontier Communications of the Carolinas, LLC.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the Commission approve.
Commissioner, is your mic on? I'm having trouble hearing you down here. Yeah, it is.
Testing 1, 2.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, fellow Commissioners, I move that the Commission approve the interconnection agreement between Bell South Telecommunications, LLC, doing business as AT&T South Carolina, and Frontier Communications of the Carolinas. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner J. Williams. Commissioners, you've heard the motion of Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 2 is the request of Atlantic Broadband Enterprise, LLC, to change the name on its Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity to read Congo U.S. Enterprise, LLC, doing business as Breezeline.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the Commission approve the request of Atlantic Broadband Enterprise, LLCs, to change its name on its Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity to read Congo U.S. Enterprise, LLC, doing business as Breezeline. I further move that the Commission grant the request for waiver of publication regarding the same name change. So moved.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the motion of Commissioner J. Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
I vote aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 3 is in docket number 2022-190C. It is the request for admission pro hac vici of attorney Robin E. Tuttle, Esquire, filed on behalf of Palmetto Telephone Communications, LLC.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner J. Williams.
I move that the Commission grant the request of Robert E. Tuttle, Esquire, for admission pro hac vice on behalf of Palmetto Telephone Communications, LLC, in docket number 2022-190-C. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioners. You've heard the motion of Commissioner J. Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 4 is in docket number 2001-283C. It is the request of Carrier Reduced Rate Long Distance, LLC, to cancel its Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity along with its tariff.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the Commission cancel the Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity and tariff of Reduced Rate Long Distance LLC as it requested. The company no longer provides telecommunication services within the state of South Carolina. So moved.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Powers. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 5 relates to docket number 2008-462C. It is the request of Carrier Network Innovations Incorporated to amend its certificate to read Network Innovations LLC.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Irvin.
thank you. I move that the commission approve Network Innovations Incorporated's request to amend its certificate to read Network Innovations LLC. So moved.
Thank you. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Irvin. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 6 is in docket number 2009-85G. It is the request for approval of an agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Lasha Fiber International Corporation.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner C. Williams.
thank you. I move that the commission approve the transportation service agreement with firm gas standby between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Lasha Fiber International Corporation.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner C. Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 7 is in docket number 2022-211E. It is the request by Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated to transfer real property to the state of South Carolina and for waiver of the bid requirement associated with said transfers.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Powers.
thank you. I move the commission approve the request of Dominion Energy South Carolina to transfer the Pine Island, Misty Lake, Franklin Branch, and Bundrick Island properties. All of these properties have been appraised, and each of these properties is to be transferred to the South Carolina Department of Revenue as a result of the amended and restated settlement agreement dated August 5th, 2021, as litigated in SCE&G, now Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated versus South Carolina Department of Revenue, docket number 19-ALJ-17-0170CC in the South Carolina Administrative Law Court. I further move the commission grant the request of Dominion for exceptions to the competitive bid process as outlined in the Code of Conduct for all the properties I just named and for the Ramsey Grove property, which is not subject to approval for sale but is subject to the bid process. These properties are being transferred at a value exceeding the appraisals obtained by the Department of Revenue. As a result of this transfer, the tax liability burden for Dominion ratepayers is reduced. So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair Powers. I apologize. I have not been recognizing your title appropriately. Commissioners, we've heard the motion by Vice Chair Powers. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Vice Chair Powers.
I vote aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, items number 8 and 9 on your agenda both relate to docket number 2022-155E. and staff would recommend that these items be taken together. I will briefly review each item for the commission. Item number 8 is the request of Mark Baker to continue the pre-hearing schedule and for the commission to initiate an investigation. Item number 9 is the motion to dismiss the complaint filed on behalf of Duke Energy Progress LLC.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the Commission grant Duke Energy Progress LLC's motion to dismiss the complaint without prejudice. The complainant lacks standing to bring this matter before the Commission. The complaint further fails to state the nature of the relief sought or a claim upon which relief can be granted as required by SC Code Annotated Regs 103-824. The hearing should be canceled and the docket closed. I so move. Further, and because the motion to dismiss is being granted, I move the Commission dismiss as moot the complainant's request to continue with the pre-hearing schedule.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Thomas. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
Utilities item number 10 concerns Synergy Utilities LP, and dockets number 2016-348S, 2017-28S, and 2021-130S. It is the request by the utility for the commission to return the filed letter of credit held by the commission to Truist Bank.
Commissioners, you've heard the item described by Ms. Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner C. Williams?
thank you. I move that the Commission grant the request of Synergy Utilities, LP Synergy, to discontinue its letter of credit. Synergy has transferred all its utility assets to South Carolina Water Utilities Incorporated and is no longer operating as a utility in South Carolina. The original letter of credit may be returned to Truist by the Commission as requested by Synergy.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion by Commissioner C. Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 11 on your agenda concerns a request by commission staff of a proposed procedural schedule and docket number 2022-142WS.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner C. Williams?
thank you. I move that the Commission adopt the following procedural schedule in this docket. Applicant direct testimony, September 1st, 2022. Other parties of record direct testimony, September 29th, 2022. Applicant rebuttal testimony, October 10th, 2022. Other parties of record, surrebuttal testimony, October 20th, 2022 by 3 p.m. Hearing date, October 26th, 2022. And I skipped virtual customer public hearings, October 10th and October 17th, 2022. Proposed orders due November 23rd, 2022 by noon. I further move that the Commission allow its staff to adjust or modify the above procedural schedule as needed without prior Commission approval.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner C. Williams. Is there any discussion? I'd like to say that I appreciate the parties trying to work together to come to a schedule. I understand that in any rate case where we are limited to 6 months, that there is a crunch of time for the parties to prepare their cases, conduct discovery, get testimony filed. But I, for one, have been trying to preserve sufficient time for a hearing and for the commission to give due weight and consideration to all the issues raised in the hearing. Therefore, we are trying to stick pretty tight to allowing the commission sufficient time after the hearing to get through the transcript, discuss any issues, so that we can render an appropriate decision and issue an order. I also note that parties noted in their request to change the schedule that they were automatically including in the schedule of when the order is due the additional 5 days that the commission may grant should the commission find that it has difficulty issuing the order within that 6-month period. I, for one, do not think that the parties should automatically think that the 5 additional days is going to be granted. That should be an exception rather than the norm. So I just want to put that out there for future consideration when we're looking at schedules. But I do appreciate the parties giving us alternative dates than what were set. I know that this schedule does not meet with any party's particular proposal, but we've done the best that we can, I think, to preserve enough time for the commission to render a decision on what could be a complicated case. Most rate cases do have some complexities that require a good bit of time. I appreciate your motion, Commissioner Williams. Any further discussion? We'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 12 concerns several dockets related to the transfer of assets and facilities to CSWR, South Carolina Utility Operating Company, LLC, from various other water and wastewater utilities. These docket numbers are 2022-151WS, docket number 2022-161W, docket number 2022-166W, and finally, docket number 2022-167W. And the issue before the commission is consideration of the motion for consolidation recommended by staff.
Commissioners, we've heard the item identified by Ms. Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Irvin?
thank you. I move the commission carry over these dockets with the exception of docket number 2022-151WS, which is currently set for a hearing in September. We will proceed to a hearing in September on the date set for 2022-151WS. And we direct the parties to discuss whether it is appropriate to consolidate the remaining 3 dockets, numbers 2022-161W, 2022-166W, and 2022-167W, and then report back within 15 days. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Irvin. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Irvin. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, the final item on your utilities agenda is item number 13, which is in docket number 2019-365E. Staff presents for commission consideration proceedings related to the competitive procurement of renewable energy.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, fellow commissioners, I move that the commission open separate dockets for Dominion Energy South Carolina, Duke Energy Carolinas, and Duke Energy Progress to file a CPRE program in each of its balancing areas that addresses the testimony in docket number 2019-365E regarding the CPRE concepts presented by all parties and why components of their individual CPRE programs are in the public interest. I move that Dominion Energy South Carolina, Duke Energy Carolinas, and Duke Energy Progress address of implementing a CPRE program in their respective balancing areas is in the public interest. And I further move that the commission take judicial notice of docket number 2019-365E and each of the newly opened dockets so that all the contents of the generic docket are available in the new dockets. I move that the commission require Dominion Energy South Carolina, Duke Energy Carolinas, and Duke Energy Progress to, including their CPRE programs, statements or explanations regarding, among other concepts presented during the generic proceeding, information that allows the commission to ascertain whether or not the concepts for CPRE design in its balancing area are in the public interest. This is not an exhaustive list, but the commission is interested in hearing information regarding the following items. One, whether or not CPRE programs should originate and be driven by the resource needs identified in the utility's integrated resource plan. Whether or not the CPRE program should be conducted in a technology-neutral manner to the extent possible so that the utility's renewable energy resources are procured by a competitive solicitation process open to all technologies or independent market participants, which meet minimum eligibility standards, including but not limited to operational and reliability requirements. Whether or not minimum eligibility standards of a utility CPRE program must be disclosed to all interested stakeholders, parties, and participants. Number three, if a utility or its affiliates choose to participate in the request for proposal process by submitting a bid, the commission wants to know whether or not the utility and utility affiliate must separate staffing for their proposal team and their evaluation team. Number four, whether or not an independent administrator should oversee the aspects of the CPRE process, including scoring of all proposals. Number five, whether or not the utility should work with an independent administrator before the CPRE procurement process begins to develop a scoring criteria, both price and non-price, and their respective weights, and submit to the Public Service Commission for review and approval of the criteria and their weights, as well as the process used to evaluate and select proposals according to the criteria. Number six, whether or not the utility should provide to potential respondents any relevant information it has concerning transmission and distribution availability and constraints, including transmission congestion information, as well as potential transmission and distribution benefits, including but not limited to reduction in transmission congestion and lost costs, reduced distribution system losses, deferred or avoided transmission or distribution investments, and any other benefits. Number seven, whether or not the utility should conduct an open, non-discriminatory CPRE process that fairly considers both third-party and utility ownership structures, resource types, combinations of resource types, sizes, capacities, ancillary services, and cost-reducing grid benefits with transparency on how the utility will evaluate them. And finally, number eight, whether or not the creation and authorization of a CPRE program, generally speaking, is in the public interest for the utility's balancing area. Finally, I move that the commission instruct the chief clerk to propose a procedural schedule for each docket for comment by the parties and for commission approval. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner J. Williams. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner J. Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, moving on to the motor carrier agenda, items numbered 1 through 14 are all applications for Class C motor carrier certificates, and staff would recommend that these items be taken together. I will briefly review each of them for you. Item number 1 is in docket number 2022-203T. It is the application of Palmetto Care Bear Home Health Care LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 2 is in docket number 2022-206T. It is the application of Hayes Farming, Transportation, and Utilities LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 3 is in docket number 2022-207T. It is the application of Extreme Limousine LLC for a Class C charter certificate. Item number 4 is in docket number 2022-208T. It is the application of Precious Treasures LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 5 is in docket number 2022-209T. It is the application of a Touch of Help Transit LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 6 is in docket number 2022-210T. It is the application of Saraba Transportation LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 7 is in docket number 2022-212T. It is the application of All Around Auto Transportation Services LLC for a Class C taxi certificate. Item number 8 is in docket number 2022-213T. It is the application of ADF Transportation LLC doing business as Sea Island Transportation for a Class C charter certificate. Item number 9 is in docket number 2022-215T. It is the application of KMP Logistics LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 10 is in docket number 2022-216T. It is the application of Kingsley Transport Services LLC for a Class C charter certificate. Item number 11 is in docket number 2022-217T. It is the application of Debbie T. Harris doing business as Black Diamond Airport Shuttle for Class C charter certificate. Item number 12 is in docket number 2022-218T. It is the application of Carter Mose and Kimberly Mose for a Class C taxi certificate. Item number 13 is in docket number 2022-219T. It is the application of Island Express Transportation LLC for a Class C taxi certificate. And item number 14 is in docket number 2022-220T. It is the application of Right Lane Transportation LLC for a Class C charter certificate.
Commissioners, we've heard the items identified by General Counsel Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission approve the applications for Class C certificates in item numbers 1 through 14 as listed by Ms. Wessiger Hill. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Thomas. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 15 is in docket number 2022-160T, and it involves a request from Top Hat Limousine Transportation and Concierge Services LLC doing business as Top Hat Limo to increase the number of passengers allowed by amending its Class C charter certificate number 9683 to read 15 passengers.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner J. Williams.
I move that the commission grant the request of Top Hat Limousine Transportation and Concierge Services, LLC, to amend Class C charter certificate number 9683 to read 15 passengers. So moved.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner J. Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 16 is in docket number 2021-271T. It is a request of Royal Limousine of Myrtle Beach, LLC, to suspend its Class C charter certificate number 9633 until May 2nd, 2023.
Commissioner, Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Vice Chair Powers.
I move the commission grant the request of Royal Limousine of Myrtle Beach LLC to suspend its Class C charter certificate number 9633 until May 2nd, 2023. So moved.
Thank you. We've heard the motion of Vice Chair Powers. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Vice Chair Powers.
I vote aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 17 on your transportation agenda relates to docket numbers 2017-127T and 2022-205T. It is the request of Buddy Transport LLC to cancel its Class C non-emergency certificate number 9250-A.
Commissioners, we've heard the item identified by General Counsel Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the commission grant the request of Buddy Transport LLC to cancel its Class C non-emergency certificate number 9250-A. So move.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Caston. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 18 is in docket numbers 2019-114T and 2022-205T. It is also a request for cancellation. However, this cancellation is from Lillian Mickle, doing business as L&W Transport Services, and it is requesting to cancel the Class C charter certificate number 9449.
Commissioners, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Irvin.
thank you. I move the commission grant the request of Lillian Mickle, doing business as L&W Transport Services, to cancel his Class C charter certificate number 9449. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Irvin. Commissioners, we've heard the motion made by Commissioner Irvin. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, with regard to items number 19 through 22 on your motor carrier agenda, staff would recommend that those be taken together. All of these items relate to the commission staff's request for certain certificated motor carriers doing business in South Carolina to file maximum rates in accordance with Commission Order Number 2022-407. I'll briefly review each of these items for you. Item number 19 is in docket number 1999-256T. It concerns the Class E household goods motor carrier Kohler Moving and Storage Incorporated, formerly known as Albert Kohler, doing business as Kohler Movers. Item number 20 is in docket number 1995-598T. This relates to the Class E household goods motor carrier Palmetto Reed's Van Service Incorporated, which is now known as Reed's Moving Services of Carolina Incorporated. Item number 21 is in docket number 2022-224T. It concerns the Class E household goods motor carrier Smith Dray Line and Storage Company Incorporated. And finally, you have item number 22, which is in docket number 2022-225T, concerning Class E household goods motor carrier Nielsen Van and Storage.
Commissioners, we've heard the items identified by General Counsel Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the commission direct the clerk, in accordance with Order 2022-407, to post the current rates for the Class E household goods certificate holders in items numbers 19 through 22, as listed by Mrs. Wessinger Hill, as the respective maximum rates for stated Class E household good certificate holders. Such tariff rates of these individual certified motor carriers were filed and approved prior to May 23, 2022. Nothing shall prohibit the Class E household goods motor carrier from filing an amendment to its existing rate schedule on file with the Commission in accordance with 2022 Act 216 and Order Number 2022-407. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Caston. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this concludes all items noticed on your business meeting agendas for today.
Before we conclude this meeting, I would like to note that our next regularly scheduled business meeting will be next Thursday, July 14th at 2 p.m. Also, this afternoon, we have a special commission business meeting for anybody wishing to attend. And if there are nothing further from any of the commissioners, we are now adjourned.